adventures in a changing season. We go together and it all feels good. You know we wouldn't trade a thing, and I think I know the reason. The moment comes to pass and the meaning's understood. It's all love and laughter. We're growing older together. We're gonna find our way. We're finding joy and magic in our lives as we get older. This is our life in the middle. Life in the middle. Life in the middle.
Welcome back to Life in the Middle. I'm Jenna.
And I'm Travis. Today marks our youngest son turning 16. While it sounds like a birthday, it feels more like a milestone. 16 means independence, driving, responsibility, and freedom. But for parents, it means something else.
Yeah.
Letting go in stages. So today, we're not just talking about a birthday. We're talking about what happens to us when our kids start growing up.
Yeah.
So
it's been a weekend.
It's been a crazy weekend.
It's been a crazy weekend. So we're recording this on Sunday, releases tomorrow, which will actually be Joe's birthday. So this weekend was his birthday party. And that was insane.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on.
It was insane. So while I'm thinking about it, Logan, Parker, Corbin, here's your shout out on the podcast.
Hey guys.
His best buddies all wanted to be had a shout out. So there's your shout out, Logan and Parker and Corbin. You weren't there. I'm gonna get you a day planner for your birthday because you got to remember things a little bit better. But we love those guys. They are our Joe's best friends. And they wanted the shout out, so I told them I would yesterday at the party. So, but at the party was kind of crazy. We got a truck.
Yeah.
He got a truck. And almost cried. We might have to add the video to the end of this.
Yeah, we'll put it in here somewhere. We've been talking for over a year now that Joe was going to get your truck.
My Yukon. Yep.
And he was reserved to the fact that was what he was going to get, which he was happy with it. It's a nice vehicle, and he would have been happy with it. But we came along over the last 3 or 4 months across the steal of a vehicle while we were kind of looking. The plan really was to give him the Yukon.
Yeah.
And while we were looking for something, we found a steal for a cheap truck. We ended up purchasing that, and you're going to hang on to the Yukon for a couple more years.
I love my Yukon. It was exactly what I wanted, and that was kind of the problem when I was looking, was that I couldn't find anything I liked as much as I had loved my Yukon. So it actually worked out the best way because now we got my truck, and I get to keep it for a little bit longer and figure out what I want after that. But yeah, so this weekend he had a fishing tournament.
Yeah, on Saturday
so morning. He woke up 4:00 in the morning on Saturday to go fishing because he does fishing team. Excuse me. And so him and my dad spent that day or all day on the lake till 2, and then he drove straight back here and then a shower to help us finish up the kind of last minute things on his party. It wasn't a huge, like extravaganza, but my kids apparently only want tacos and donuts for all their celebrations, which everybody always giggles about. So we had tacos and donuts, and he got a truck, and that was great. And all the family showed up and friends, and that was wonderful. And then his big surprise was his truck. He got a truck, and he was very, very surprised by that.
This morning, we get up and get ready for church, and he's usually the last one. He's dragging. He doesn't really want to go. And
you can't get that boy out of bed for
this
nothing.
morning, he was out of bed before we were getting ready because he wanted to drive his truck to church
Got
to show everybody.
Got to show all his friends. So that was great. That was great.
So this episode, while it's a lot about Joe turning 16, because that's the milestone that we just that we're passing as of today when this releases, it's more about the kids growing up while we're in the middle of life, right? So, let's just start with 16. When did you realize 16 wasn't really that far away for our kids?
I think he's our youngest, like he's the baby in the family. 16 for Kingston wasn't so sad for me. It was so exciting for our oldest to turn 18 and get some independence. And then, but when, the baby starts to get closer, it's kind of what it was. I think when we figured out, because Kentucky just passed a law, it's supposed to be 16, you get your permit, 16 and a half, you get your license. But he got his permit 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And that one's when it hit
A year
me.
ago. He
Was
got
it a
it
year ago? Okay, so a year ago. And that one's when it hit me.
Yeah, it was about this time last year. He was turning 15 that they were talking about making it where 15-year-olds could get their permit. And of course, he was all over it. He was like, "Hey, they're doing this,
I
doing this.
think we
Have they
waited till
passed?"
summer though, didn't we?
Yeah, we waited a couple months
Yeah.
because of the rush of all the 15-year-olds trying to
So
get in.
it's that when we started talking about having to take the permit test, that's when it really hit me. Oh my goodness, he's going to be driving.
So to me, it felt like when they did pass that law, like we got our plans shoved a year ahead.
Yeah.
Because we should be sitting here right now talking about him going to get his permit tomorrow.
But not anymore.
But no, he's been driving for almost a year now on his permit. So,
yeah.
So would you say you felt like you were ready for this milestone, or that did it sneak up on you?
No, not ready. Not ready at all. Not ready at all. It's, I mean, if you really think about it, last August, I'm pretty sure it was right before school started that he got his permit, right? And that was our baby getting his permit and our oldest leaving us to go to college. All at the same time. So that was a lot. And it's very hard because they're just the perfect amount apart that it hits so hard when it hits, right? Mm-hmm. We had one graduating and one going into high school. Yeah. We got one getting a permit and one leaving us for the first time. So it's like they just keep doubling up on us, and I kind of feel like it's a little rude, you know. But for Kingston, it was so much excitement around it, and for me, I guess, and for Joe, it's sad for me. Like, I mean, it's exciting too. I guess there's a little bit of excitement for him. I'm excited for all the things because he's so excited. You know, it's kind of hard when he's bouncing off the walls, so excited about something, not to be excited. But for me, I'm sad. Like he's my youngest. He's the last one I've got. So it's been pretty hard. It's been pretty hard.
So would you say? So you would probably say this has been more of an emotional milestone than an excited one for you.
For me, yeah, for me,
sure.
Not for Joe.
For Joe, for sure. I mean, you're gonna see the video of him. Yeah. He's super excited. He's on 11. He's crazy.
I mean, he walked outside this morning just to make sure the truck was still there.
Like we weren't going to take it back or something.
But you will see, and this is my favorite, because you'll see him come outside to the truck. What you don't see is he opened up his presents before that, and the last of it. So this is just random things. I got a desk goose. I don't know if you've ever seen this. Google it if you haven't. It's great. It's this little duck, and some people get porch goose and stuff. They dress them up. This is a desk goose. It sits on a table, and you can dress it up. And I wanted one so bad. Travis got me one. It helps me keep up with my keys. It has a magnet in its beak, and it like holds the keys. Well, he thinks this is the funniest. Joe thinks this is the funniest thing ever. And I called mine. It's Mrs. Wattlesworth. Yeah. And he decided since he was going to have keys soon that he wanted a duck or a desk goose too. So we got him one. Mine's Mrs. Wattlesworth because it's got a bonnet and a little dress, and his is little honk. It's in a black hoodie and has a chain and sunglasses, and he thinks it's the funniest thing ever. Well, we gave him that. That was one of his presents. And then there was a small bag, and then it had, the gift in it. It had the keys in it. But my dad owns a Nissan Titan as well. That's the type of truck he got. And he thought that my dad had gave him his truck because he had driven my dad's truck home from the lake from their fishing tournament and had just saw these set of keys, and they're identical. And so he didn't know what was going on. He just kept looking at us and going, whose keys are these? Whose keys are these? So when you see the video, you see him walk out the door, and he turns around and looks at me and says, "Are you for real?" He just kept saying, "Are you for real?" And he's shaking. He looks like he's about to start crying. And then you just hear a bunch of one-liners coming from the right behind the video. So like my niece, the peanut gallery, Travis was like, "No, we're lying." And then my niece was like, "Yeah, it's mine." And then Kingston, one line, he's like, "Yeah, we rented it for a day." It's so funny, and you can see the personality in our family, like right then in that moment, because they were trying to make light because he was definitely looked like he was about to cry.
Oh yeah.
But it's funny. So you'll see the video, and at the end of this episode, I'm sure we'll put it in. Because it is wonderful. It's great. He was not expecting that whatsoever.
Yeah, he kind of we pulled quite a ruse. We
Lots of
we
line.
had
Lots of line to my
we
kid.
had to clean while he was out fishing. We cleaned up the Yukon like we were going to give it to him. We made sure it was all good and clean. Thank God he had a fishing tournament. We had so much stuff to do that morning. We had to
Yes.
go out and get we had to clean 2 vehicles. We had to
Yeah.
get it. We hit it on the side.
So we bought it in December.
Yeah.
I'll tell the story. We bought it in December, and then our friends Dennis and Angela, they have a farm way out of the way. No one, he would never go by there. So that's where we parked it until last weekend where Joe was out of town, and then we got it back into town, washed it because it was, just a little bit because it is dirt, from the dust and stuff from a farm. Parked it again, and then we knew we were gonna have to really clean it.
Yeah.
Day of. So we got up that early that morning after we got Joe off to the fishing tournament, and we cleaned his. But then we were like, well, he thinks he's getting this Yukon. He thinks we're going to present it with him in front of his friends. So we need to clean it. So Kingston cleaned the inside, vacuumed it out and everything, took all of my junk out, which I still got to put all my stuff back in because it's things I need. And then we went and washed it and stuff. So he still he really did think he was getting that Yukon. But we've been lying. And like every time me and Travis would go out on a date, we tell him we were going truck shopping, vehicle shopping, and I would just make up random cars. And then I took him to driving lessons one day. We passed, the Chevrolet dealership, and I'm like, I'm gonna get that Denali, Joe. And he we just kept adding to it. I'm like, it kind of got fun.
Yeah.
And, just the random things that I was coming up with. And then as far as he knew, today we were gonna go get my car. And of course I didn't. But the funny thing is he believed me so well that he is sitting in this truck after we gave him the vehicle. The rest of the party was over. Like he never came back inside. Him and his friends have sat in this truck.
Yeah.
And I walked out there to see what they were doing and stuff. And he was like, "Mom, when are you getting your truck?" And I'm like, "I'm not, buddy. Like I've got my Yukon." And he was like, "Oh, are you serious?" He's like, "Are you not getting it because of me?" I'm like, "No, I was never getting it." And he was like, "Oh," I was like, "That was part of the ruse, bud." And he was like, "Oh, okay." So it was pretty funny. We apparently lied so well that he believed us still after he saw the surprise.
So, it was a big day. It was a lot of fun. He goes today.
We say today as in this is the day of release.
When this comes out to actually get his license. So if you're maybe say a prayer for him and that he passes, and then maybe
if you live in the area,
if you live in Franklin, maybe say a prayer for everybody around here if he passes, because he'll be out driving around. But he's a good kid, and he'll be fine. He's a good
kid. This week has been, it was finals week.
Yeah.
So he's been kind of pushed to the limit this week with everything he has going on, because we told him if he did not have A's and B's, he was not going to test. And he was on the cusp of a C in a couple of classes. So studying for his finals had been really hard on him. Like he's putting in time and effort. But he also decided to start a job this week, which was probably horribly timed by us.
For sure.
So he's been training. Good news was he wasn't like in actual scheduled yet. So he's had to go up there several times and do training videos and stuff like that for a few hours. So that added into that. Plus we've had some driving lessons going on. It's been a full week.
It's been a full last couple of weeks for sure. So, and I was gone.
And Dad was gone. So let's talk about the fact that like I am used to having an equal partner in everything, and it's probably really good that he leaves sometimes, because he makes, like, when he comes back, he definitely feels the appreciation for me. I tell him over and over again. I just don't do well without my partner. So it's been a rough week for sure. It's been a great week. But it's definitely been pretty stressful and stuff like that.
Well, let's kind of look back at other milestones we've done. Our kids have done besides 16 that we just happened. What milestone do you think hit you the hardest, or harder than you expected?
Kingston was harder. Kingston by far. Leaving home. Yeah, going to college. That one was, I think it changed us in so many ways. It was the hardest for sure.
Yeah,
I think it will be even harder when Joe leaves.
Yeah, I do too. I would say of all,
and that's the one I'm dreading now.
Yeah, as far as milestones that we've already done, I believe him moving off to college and realizing his independence, and there's a lot of stuff in there too. Is there was times where we didn't know if that was something he was going to do, and whether he could be on his own, and he's blown through every expectation we've
Yeah.
ever had for him, like like crazy. So uh, just being so proud of that
Yeah.
moment, it was, but pulling away and leaving him there
Yeah.
was so hard.
That was by far by far the hardest. I think that the one I dread the most now is the graduation and Joe leaving, because that's going to be the last kid we have.
So when did you first realize that time was moving faster than you expected?
I think it just kind of sneaks up on you, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, all of a sudden you're like, "Good Lord."
Yeah.
I would say it's probably like the Kingston senior year. That's when I started like, it's going so fast. It's going so fast. It keeps going faster. And like every single thing senior years feels like the last thing, right? Like the last thing before they leave, the last thing before this, the last this before this.
Yeah.
So everything that senior year felt like, man, time is moving so fast. It feels so unfair. So I think that's when it finally hit me. And it stinks for the firstborns because it feels like it sneaks up on the parents, and I feel like we get a little bit more appreciative of the time for the other kids, the younger kids, because you've felt that pain of that kid, you know, going through these last things. But I have learned in this last year with Kingston in college, there's a lot of first things that come after those last things too. So their last things as kids and their first things as adults is kind of a weird thing. So, you know, you just gotta get used to it, right? I guess your kids keep getting older, and it keeps and it's
Time
not
don't
nice.
stop, for sure.
It's not nice. And my parents always told us that it goes by so fast, but you just don't feel it until it hits you in the face.
So, I think the first time I looked up, and it was the same time, and I thought, man, time's moving fast. It was, Kingston in his senior year, but also, and I think this is because Kingston was in his senior year, you start appreciating, Joe's last year in middle school, and those times are coming. The Kingston's experiences are coming with him very soon. So that's when I looked up and thought, wow, time is moving fast.
Mm-hmm.
We got one leaving high school, one coming into high school. So, it was definitely twofold. It was because one was doing all these last, and this is your last time in high school, this is your last this and that. I was able to look back and go, oh, Joe's about to enter those times where he's starting to do these things where Kingston is doing the last of them. And how did we get two kids that are doing this?
Yeah.
So that's probably when I thought time was moving fast. So, which early memories do you feel like were just yesterday?
I told him I was going to tell this story
Yeah.
for his birthday, so I'm going to tell it. My favorite memory of Joe as a kid, okay? And it seems like forever ago. We moved to Bowling Green. Joe was in second grade. And it was, we went on vacation in the fall, and it was spring break. And we got back to school, and I was working at the hospital. And his teacher sends me an email that says, can you send us pictures from your spring break? I'd like to share them with the class. But this is interesting to me, right? Because we didn't do anything with spring break. I was working on spring break, So I was like, I really can't. I don't have any pictures from our spring break. I was working. What's going on? And so then I get a phone call, and this teacher, God bless her, she was tickled to death. It was so funny. I guess Joe had felt a little envious of his friends who had went on another vacation, spring break or Disney
something.
and stuff, and everybody was talking about it. So Joe raises his hand and starts to tell, and from what the teacher tells us, the most elaborately detailed story about our trip to China and to the dojos and all the culture and the food and the flight. So detailed that this teacher, absolutely believed a second grader story of our trip to China. And I have no clue where he got the information about China, how he decided to come up with it. But she said, at one point when he first said it, I thought, okay, this kid is just telling a story, and that's fine. She said, second graders, they do that, and I wasn't going to embarrass him. But she's like, he had so many details. I thought, well, I know y'all are very active at your church. Maybe it was a mission trip to China, and I really wanted these pictures to share with the class because that's, a whole different culture and a huge trip. And I was like, well, I don't know where to go from here, but I've never been to China. Um, and he has never been to China, but it is by far my favorite Joe story because he is just that kind of kid, right? He has this huge imagination,
Yeah.
and he will just, I mean, he apparently did his research and he knew a whole bunch of stuff. So
I,
this woman really thought he was going to China,
it,
but that seems like a forever ago, right?
yeah, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like it was forever ago. It feels like it was yesterday too. Uh, you know, we for me, we piled up in our SUV and drove to Indianapolis to go to a
Oh
Lego
yeah.
convention with the kids, and that feels like it was just yesterday, and they
There
were
was
really
their
small.
favorite movie had this Lego Land commercial right before,
Yeah,
the DVDs you stuck in the car, DVD players and stuff, and it had that Lego Land, and they
yeah,
wanted to go to Lego Land so bad, and we were young, and I was in nursing
yeah,
school, and it was just no money to go on Lego Land, and we there was that convention, and we
yeah.
went, and they don't remember it.
Not a single thing
Not
about it.
not one thing. They've seen pictures, but they do not remember it. And I think Kingston was probably
He was in second or
s-
third grade.
so he was
Yeah,
probably seven,
yeah.
8 years old, maybe. And then Joe was a couple years behind them. But they could not. They can't remember nothing, not one part. And that was like we woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, got those kids dressed, and drove them all the way to Indianapolis to see this thing, and they do not remember it.
So that this kind of segues into my next one. What did we worry about back then that seems so small now? And I think for me, we worried about giving them experiences that
Mm-hmm.
they really really wanted, and now that seems so small because they know we spent that time together, but they don't remember
I don't
doing any
remember
of
it.
that stuff.
I think I wanted them to have so much. I wanted them to have so much and so to do so many things and to have so many things. They don't remember them in the
No,
same way that we don't remember them,
I
right?
agree.
We remember the times our parents, the funny stories our parents have, the experiences that we had, the memories that we made with our parents, right there with us. And we think it needed to be big gestures and big things, and it's not. I mean, it really isn't. So, that's probably a mistake that we made. But everybody makes it. You want all these things for your kids, but then they don't remember it. But they do remember,
Yeah.
silly things, from the day to day life.
So with that being said, what do you think we got right about the early years of their
Did we
growing
get
up?
stuff right?
Well, I can tell you my example would be we tried to have dinner at the dinner table every single night. Um,
That is,
not in
I do
front of the
think that.
TV,
Yeah,
not spread across the house. We try to have dinner together every night, and I think that's something we did right, and that they
I
expect now because we get to have that time together,
yeah,
talking about the
absolutely.
day,
The
things
like
like that.
today, Travis went and took Joe to a driving lesson right after church, and it was just me and Kingston, and I had stuff all over from the party still on the kitchen table, and there it is all over the kitchen table. If you could see my dining room right now,
Yeah,
and Kingston's like, "Where are we gonna eat?" And that, I mean, you said that,
yeah,
and that's funny. He's like, "Where are we gonna eat?" I'm like, "We've got TV trays.
right,
We'll eat in the living room. We're sitting there talking in the living room and together." But even their friends started when they would come over and eat dinner with us. They would start doing. We did the things like something in this is we always ask how your kid's day is, and they're like, it was fine, it was
yeah.
fine. So we the first time it
We
was just everybody had to go around the table and tell us something that made them laugh out loud about that day. So
yeah.
like we wanted the funniest thing that happened for the day. We tell us the
And
story,
what made
right?
them the
and
maddest?
then and then the second question we go around, and it was what made you the maddest, like um yelling in your head even if you didn't yell out loud, what made you the angriest day. So that gave us their high and their low for the
Yeah.
day so that we could have a whole discussion about what they were doing, how they were doing, da 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 da. So it gave detail, and then after a while kids would ask,
Yeah.
like people would be like, he's like, you're gonna do the highs and
Yeah,
lows for the day.
our niece would come over and she'd
Yeah.
be like, "Well, I want to tell you about my day,"
Yeah,
or
so
friends of the
friends
kids
of the
would come
kids would
over
do
when we were
that,
having
and
dinner.
so
They wanted to be part of it.
then we had like discussion cards. They'd have to pull a card out, and it was something random. Like
Yeah,
it
we're
was, it was
not.
different categories of talk. It was just to make sure that we didn't just say fine and go with that. We
Yeah,
really wanted to hear the details of their day, and doing that around the dinner table every night was definitely something I do feel like we did that right. We did.
Do you think we realized how quick the little kid stage would pass?
Yeah. Yeah, that's, I mean, 16 years ago today, as of the releasing of this, I was being induced, and now he's driving away.
Yeah.
Like, and that kills me. So, um, Joe is, you know, he's my baby, and he, I didn't think the little kid thing was gonna. I thought it
Yeah,
was
I didn't
last
either.
forever. You feel like it's gonna last forever.
So I think the kind of the thing here is for middle aged and our kids getting older is that we are now shifting from just protecting our children to preparing our children, right? So, um,
Very hot and heavy
yeah.
preparing them.
So
Yeah.
when do you think we shifted from protecting to preparing them for life?
I think Kingston when he moved in.
Yeah,
When Kingston moved in,
I think it was
it was all about that.
simultaneous
And then
because Kingston moved in and he was starting high school, and we knew we needed to prepare him for the future. That's when we also started preparing Joe.
Joe, yeah, it was a constant. You want to, yeah. I mean, yeah, I'd say so. By the time Kingston moved in, Kingston was going to high school. We kind of switched from that to we've got to have functioning members of society.
Yeah.
So,
So, as a parent, what scares you the most about this stage of preparing instead of protecting?
I have to stop helicoptering at
Yeah.
this point. Like, I mean, if he gets his license tomorrow, which I think he will,
Yeah.
I am not right there in the passenger seat.
Yeah, it's
And that's actually, and I don't know. It kind of started when he started getting his permit because I won't drive with him. I don't have the patience for it, but part of it is just that, like, if it's not perfect, it's not exactly what I would do driving, but he's still safe. That's all I'm going to think about when he pulls out the driveway. So I
yeah.
don't want to know. Like, as long as you think he's safe and he's good, and the state of Kentucky says that he is capable of driving, I don't know if I want to
I mean,
know
we've
how
got
good he is, because I just don't think I'm going to be able to handle it. He's going to pull out that driveway tomorrow, and I don't want to know that he doesn't use his turn signal the way that he should. I don't know, something, but I'm not prepared for it. I'm not.
all right.
So
So that covers what scares you. What excites you about the stage of preparation instead of protection?
I think my excitement's more from his excitement. Like, he is going to be able to, um, that feeling of pulling up at the school for the first
Yeah.
time, in your vehicle, and going to practice, and and going to Sonic, or going and cruising, and those kinds of things. I'm happy that we are at the stage of life and where we are in this town, and these people, and the love that I have for this community, that I grew up in. Him experiencing those things in high school. Cruising around the square
Yeah.
with his friend, and that kind of thing. So I'm excited for him to have those memories and those moments for sure.
So we're preparing them for a life as an adult. We've prepared Kingston, although we're still preparing him.
Hmm.
Do you trust what we've taught him?
Not at all. I
Do you?
mean,
Not that I think you may have heard the question wrong. Do you trust what we've taught them, not what they've learned? What we've taught them.
nope. I mean, because we're not perfect by
Yeah.
any means. I'm still learning. So, I'm. What have I taught? I trust some of the things that I've taught them.
Yeah.
I trust that they know their Lord and Savior. That's the number one thing I can
Yes.
teach them, right? Because it's not about this life; it's for the eternity. So I trust that, and they know it. So they know who their Lord and Savior is. I'm winning right now. I trust that I've taught them the trusted people that they have in the community they have, and the people they need to lean on, and the people they can trust to for help. Like, it takes a village, and we have a village, and our kids know our village.
Yeah.
And so, and our village loves those kids so much. So those two things I trust. Other than that, they don't give these handbooks out with these kids from the hospital, and
Mm-mm.
it's kind of mean. So I hope it. I feel like I've been told by several different people all over the place that my kids are good kids, um, not perfect kids, good kids. So, I trust that we're doing a okay job if people can walk up to me non-prompted and go, you got good kids. So I feel like we're doing a good job, but do I trust everything I've taught them? No, because Lord knows they didn't come with the manual. So, um, I feel like there's certain things that we did right, but so I trust that at least.
All right, well, let's go to our this or that segment. So this is going to be the milestone edition, right?
Okay.
So which one did you like better? Okay, so first steps or first drive?
First steps. Oh, we were so thrilled. When we're talking about Joe, right?
Yeah.
Because I wasn't there for
Well, I mean,
Kingston's,
yeah,
but for Joe, man, we were so excited when that kid just took off, and then it
yeah.
was like, oh, but wait, he's not stopping. He just kept running,
He ain't stopped since for
Mm-mm.
sure. Yeah, I agree with you. First steps is first drive feels like a loss of
You're losing your baby.
a little bit
Yeah,
of
yeah,
control. So
yeah.
uh, toddler cuddles or teenage conversations.
Depends on the conversation with my teenager
Yeah,
because
that's for
sometimes it
sure.
just seems like we're learning church. We're talking about discipline today in
Yeah,
church in class. So sometimes I feel like all I do is discipline. Um, but there are moments that they open up about things and you try to help them
yeah,
figure out a situation and the communication's really good and you're working as a team. Like we were talking about this week is we're his parents and you got finals, use us.
right.
We've completed high school, so we can help you. And that kind of worked out really well because he was verbalizing and communicating and stuff, so that's great. But I miss those toddler cuddles. As anybody at our church can tell you, if you have a baby and I am in the church
Jenna
with you,
will
I'm
hold
going to
it.
come and take it and we are going to cuddle and snuggle. We have a couple of people that just literally will hand me their baby when I walk into the auditorium. Like literally, here you go. I know you're coming to get him, and so he snuggles me and I put him to sleep and he just lays on me the whole church, and gives mom a little break. And so I will take a toddler cuddle. I miss my toddler cuddles.
Um, packing diaper bags or packing sports bags.
Uh, Neither of those were fun. Um,
Which one would you rather do?
Sports bags because his is like, I mean, like his soccer bag kind of stays. It's just what
Yeah,
it is. Um, he does that, but I think like I really like packing his snacks and stuff
right.
for the bass fish. I mean, tournaments are um just that. I mean, they get on the water at 6. They launch at 6, so they gotta be on the water before that. So I mean, he's there from 6 to 2 on the water. So helping him do that makes me feel. I think I'd rather do that than I don't. I'd always forget something in the diaper bag. Lord knows.
Yeah, I'm all about. I would much rather do the packing the sports bags because packing a diaper bag means I'm probably going to change a diaper, and I really don't
Yeah,
want
yeah,
anything to do with
that's
that.
true.
Um, knowing exactly where they are, or trust that where they're going.
Okay. 360 is an amazing
Yes,
thing.
it
Okay,
is.
like I am not sponsored by Life 360, but I would love to just shout them out. Love you, y'all are amazing. Life 360 just his little dot moves around town. I know exactly where he's going, how fast he's going, everything else. I done told him, when you get your license, if I see a little race car next to your name, you're getting a phone call from Mama. So no, I'm gonna know exactly where he's going. I'm still a helicopter mom, and I'm proud to say it.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much our episode for today.
Yeah.
You got any closing thoughts you want to
No,
bring
I
up?
told him that this is his birthday, so it's gonna
Yeah.
be special.
Yeah.
We're gonna include his video. I'm gonna
Yeah.
put some funny little pictures of him up just because his friends have found our podcast and they've told that they were gonna watch. They wanted a Joe special today,
Joe
so I
special.
did tell a couple stories about Joe. But I told him I wasn't going to embarrass him too bad, but I was going to tell the China story. So
Yeah, for
can't
sure.
talk about potty training or anything like that.
No.
But we will. If you stay tuned to the end of the video, you'll see a couple of pictures and his video from
Yeah.
him getting his truck, and hopefully next week when we come back on, we would tell you if he passed his driver's
For sure.
test or
For sure.
not. So
So I had a closing thought here that I wanted to leave kind of sum up this whole episode. Growing up doesn't just happen to our kids, it happens to us too. The middle years aren't about holding on tighter, they're about preparing to release with confidence. Every milestone is proof of something that you've built, and while it feels like letting go, it's actually just watching your work come to life. So, with that, maybe y'all can comment down below what milestones in your life or your kid's life maybe hit you the hardest and maybe harder than you expected, and why. Like, share, comment. That always helps us get out to more people. So, with that, this has been Life in the Middle. I'm Travis.
And I'm Jenna.
Thanks for watching.
See ya.
Did you see his face? For real?
For real.
No, we made it up.
It's just a joke. It's actually mine.
Nah, we rented it for a day.
I know. I lied. We lied. It's yours.
You're a bad liar.
I'm actually good.
Start her up.
They had me clean the truck for
Life